I'm going to make a brief statement on behalf of Mr. Shkreli. Mr. Shkreli is not going to answer any questions. I may answer one or two questions depending on the question. So my name is Ben Brafman. I am Mr. Shkreli's attorney. On my left is Mark Ignifilo. He is my partner. Let me first say that this was a frustrating morning for us because I think Mr. Shkreli would like nothing more than to answer the committee's questions, and I think he would have very good answers. He has agreed, because of the pending indictment in the Eastern District of New York, to follow my advice and not answer any questions and invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege, and I think that was the appropriate advice under the circumstances. The gentleman on the committee who discussed the Fifth Amendment, with all due respect, had no idea what he was talking about, given the state of the law as I understand it to be. Mr. Shkreli has a perfect right to invoke his Fifth Amendment, and to be ridiculed for it is just unfair and inappropriate. I would also tell you that Mr. Shkreli did not intend to show any disrespect for any members of the committee, listened intently. Some of what you saw was nervous energy by an individual who very much would like to explain what happened, but is agreed to listen to his lawyer, who has been around this block, I think, several hundred times over the last 40 years. It's a frustrating morning because many of the things that were said in this hearing are simply just not accurate, and I think Ms. Retzlaff will address the substance in her testimony later this morning. But not for the pending indictment in the federal court, Mr. Shkreli would himself address these issues. A lot of the statements attributed to him and noted by the committee were made before he retained new counsel. Our priority is to resolve favorably the criminal case in the Eastern District, and at the same time, Turing, through people, including Mr. Shkreli, will be addressing these issues, but not in this hostile forum. I appreciate Mr. Cummings' remarks. He is right. Mr. Shkreli is a brilliant scientist whose devotion to saving lives is extraordinary in my judgment. And at the age of 32, he has already developed several drugs and is in the process of developing several more that will save the lives of people who suffer from illnesses that most of the major pharmaceutical companies have essentially ignored. So we told them he was going to invoke. They insisted that he come down anyway. Out of respect for the committee, we came, and now we are about to leave. If you have one or two questions that I think are appropriate, I'll try and respond, but I really don't want 500 questions shouted at me at the same time.
Do you think it's unfair that the government is going after your client when other pharmaceutical companies are raising their drug prices by sometimes 1,000%?
I think it's extraordinarily unfair that Turing has been singled out for the type of unfair publicity that they have received. And when all of the facts about Daraprim and Turing are ultimately disclosed, I think everyone will recognize that Mr. Shkreli is not a villain. He's not the bad boy. I think at the end of this story, he is a hero.
Does your client have any regrets about having raised the price that high, given all the publicity this has now generated?
I think the only regrets he has is in the unfair treatment he has received and some of the things he may have said in response that maybe were not well thought out. But he's 32 years old. He's not a lawyer. He's a scientist. And he was angry at times, and some of the things he said may have sounded bad and may have fueled this inquiry. But on balance, at the end of this story, Mr. Shkreli will be, in my view, cleared of the criminal charges that have nothing to do with Daraprim. And with respect to Daraprim, I think you will see that he has saved many, many lives by his brilliance. Thank you very much. There is nobody who cannot afford the drug, to our knowledge, who has not received the drug. Thank you very much.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Downey from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here, and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Kramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.